The Wall is so full of irony. I find a lot of people scratching their head, don't understand, question about what does it mean, all this stuff. So this is how it came about. Originally, this was done. I put this together as a video, just as a spoof kind of a video, several years ago, 5, 6 years ago. And when I did it, it was all a tongue-in-cheek thing. It actually said at the end a T&C production, which tongue-in-cheek. The whole thing was kind of a joke, sort of, but it ended up being a little more ironic than that. So what you find in here is this film, The Wall, which is not, it has nothing to do with Pink Floyd. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's a documentary that had come out back in 1962 that had to do with the Berlin Wall. But the funny thing was how much that video, as we chopped it in, fit into the soundtrack. Now the soundtrack is all a joke. The soundtrack are 3 songs that I edited to sound like they were a live performance. That's the funny thing about it. And it was all a spoof, sort of. I don't know. This is where my head was when I was doing it. It was to put this together, this thing. I did 3 songs, end to end, edited together with audience sound and applause and all that stuff, to where it sounds like a concert that you're sitting at. Well, okay, originally that's what we did. And I put in there, it's a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it was misunderstood. Somebody, and then one of the footage we put at the beginning is this giant performance thing. Someone said, "That's the Grateful Dead." I said, "Really?" But it was a joke. The whole thing, it was a little too serious, I guess, for a joke, so people didn't get it. And anyway, recently I was going through old productions, old video that we did. I came around to it and I thought, well, it's time to do something with this. We've been taking videos and working them and doing them in this new sharpened higher def VHD format. And you've been seeing that. We put that in, you'll see it on the video, because it's the treatment of the video, higher resolution, sharper contrast, and all that kind of stuff. So I saw it and I thought, well, let's do something with this. So I began working on that, and I thought, funny thing is, today we're in this quarantine with COVID-19 and stuff, and the suggestion has been that they can do live performances at drive-in theaters, which is really cool, and it's been happening around the world, different places where there's been outdoor live performances. So I thought what would be funny is maybe to take this original creation of this thing, The Wall, with this band called the Hellstompers, and put that on a drive-in screen. So that's what we ended up doing. We put it on a drive-in screen, and I wrote something like the original drive-in concert with a question mark. Well, it's what it is. But I thought it would be interesting because the thing that makes the song a bit provocative is, and current, and maybe controversial a little bit, but mostly somewhat cultural, is this concept of the wall. And today, this image, this metaphor of a wall, or even the actual thinking of what a wall is, having to do with like the wall at the southern border and the controversy and the differences of opinions about that. So that wall and what it represents and all of the things that it means, which are serious issues and seriously thought about. So that's one level of the wall. And then we reference The Wall by Pink Floyd, and that's a different reference of a wall. That's the story of a guy named Pink, and it's about him building a wall to hide himself behind, to cut himself off, not to interact because of like a father that wasn't there and a mother who's overbearing. And the whole song is this image of that kind of a wall. So you have that metaphor of a wall, which I think is interesting, and it's very relevant to our culture now. And I was reading an article by this writer, this Latino writer, and she was saying this whole issue of the Pink Floyd wall was a whole thing about the need that we have as individuals to interact in culture and to be a part of one another, and that's part of what feeds us and grows us as human beings. That concept is being challenged right now because of the quarantine. And people are starting to show, in areas are showing signs of the breakdown, because we need relationships. We need to interact with one another. And so that's the wall of the Pink Floyd, which it wasn't a song about, but it referenced that. The third thing is the actual documentary about this that's in this video, called The Wall, which was done by, I think, it was done in 1962 by it was a documentary that examined the beginning of the building of the wall. Now that wall, the Berlin Wall, was erected by the Soviets who had occupied East Germany. And so they built a fence and a wall, and it went in stages. But this documentary examines what it was like when the Soviets separated families and friends. And this whole video is about how the friends would talk back and forth and signal one another, and then they kept trying to sneak people out of the Soviet side of the things, East Berlin side, into the West to join their families. And this documentary examines all that. In the rendition on the drive-in, it was more just sequenced to fit the songs that were there. Even though the songs in this video, the live performance songs, the truth is that they're actually very serious songs that we've recorded and things like that I wrote. So you have, in this documentary film, it was the wall that the Soviets kept built to keep people from leaving. Now that's a different. So you have a wall in the southern border that is to control the people that come in, and who comes in, who doesn't. It's about people coming in. The wall of Pink Floyd is about the walls we erect, and then the wall of this documentary is about the Soviets building a wall to keep people from leaving. What a bunch of irony in all of that. So the video, it just ends up being what it is. And the reason I like that we put it out again is that it just makes people think. And that was the whole purpose of this video, The Wall.
Hey, what's up? What's down? What's going around? A tune for the marketplace piece, which shines as gold, the salesman bold, as he makes his well-rehearsed pitch. Money on eye makes industry tick. Kudos to the makers, no diss. What's left behind while trying to be kind is the clatter of the serpentine hiss. Lined with signs, all different kinds. Some waving, some walking, some fixed. Demanding attention, subliminal attention. Stir thoughts while just taking a piss. It's hard to escape the soul-sucking rape in the noise you just might somehow miss. That they're laid there like plans to all the fame of this clatter of the serpentine hiss. The children of father, screaming each brother and sis, hating the other, both of the same mother, no time for the other one's list. Division so wide, driven by pride, loveless and shaking a fist, and they only sound happy in the darkness around. shelter from the wind and rain, and the medicines for ills and pain. Like the raindrop on the desert floor, just a little taste, you'll thirst for more. A little bit of love will break down the hottest stone in the highest wall, shatter the defenses that you build to keep you from the fall. If ever falling down to love, you'll be falling on your knees and begging heaven please to keep a little bit of love. Oh, just a little bit of love. Like the dogwoods blooming in the spring, and the way they brighten everything. Like a butterfly born from the worm, and the daylight at the dawn's return. A little bit of love will leave you feeling like you did as a baby child. Mama's loving arms around you, every dream still running wild. But if you stand outside love, you never fall inside the sea. Everything this world could be with just a little bit of love. Oh, just a little bit of love. But now you stand outside alone and hide your feelings like a cold gray stone. But a little bit of love will break down the hardest stone in the highest wall, shatter the defenses that you built to keep you from the fall. If ever falling down to love, you'll be falling on your knees and begging heaven please